it's just horrible.
Yeah.
Because you just want to tell the truth and you want someone to go, oh God, yeah, I know, isn't it? It's crap, isn't it? But it's, you know, it gets better, or you'll get stronger, or give me a hug, or, you know, you've got Brian, anything. It was, but just to say, oh well, that's life, isn't it? You know, we all die sometimes, you know, and that's life. And I just felt like a complete and utter needy, bloody idiot.
Hello.
Daddy, I love him.
Mother thanks you.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello, and welcome to the It's a Drama podcast. I'm Liz.
I'm Brian.
And today we're here to talk to you about telling the truth.
Yes. How do we start that one off?
I know, how do we start? Go on.
Well, say, how did you come about to think about that?
We are here to talk to you today about, we're going to share a story about going to a funeral and what happened at that funeral, and the importance. When we came back, we had a big chat about it, and we want to talk about the importance of being real and being your authentic self, and being, actually, I don't know if authentic self is the right word. I just mean just telling people how you feel. When you feel like crap, just tell them how you feel. Anyway, we'll talk about that. First of all, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being here, because this is one of those episodes that we, or certainly I, denied about. Oh, should we do it? Like, you know, is it going to just be a downer?
It's not about being a downer. It's about helping people, isn't it?
It is, Brian.
And
it is.
That's what it comes down to, because you can go down that route. No, nobody wants to hear about this, but this is for the people that are having a bit of a tough time.
Yeah, that are struggling.
Because, you know, we certainly have struggled over the last 18 months.
I'm struggling now, and that's what this podcast is about, and that's why we're like, no, we're going to talk to you, we're going to share our story, and so hopefully you will listen to this and feel less alone. So we are sitting on this beautiful branch in a field just outside Bath, in a village called Freshford, and the sun is shining, and we've timed it just right, because we're sitting on an old dead tree.
Yep.
And there's a branch just in front of us, and it's just shielding the sun out of our eyes. So it's
we're going to look like raccoons, because you can go up and down.
So we went to a funeral.
Yes.
Last week, didn't we?
My auntie, who was around about 90 years old, passed away literally 2 weeks ago, and good timing in a way, because I was actually here. You know, it's my mum's sister, and I just think, I said, right, I'm coming to the funeral, and so it was a time to reconnect with a lot of family I haven't seen for many, many years. You know, some of them 20 years plus, some of them 5-6 years ago, and things like that. But that's what got us thinking about this, isn't it? About what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, when you said that you were going down to the funeral, because it was down in Cornwall, you know, a couple of hours drive, and I did think, should I just let you just go on your own? And, you know, because I know your family is down there, your sister and everything, and I just thought, should I just let you go on your own? 2 reasons I thought that. One, I thought you might just want to be with your close family, you know, with your sister and your aunties and uncles and cousins and things. And 2, I thought, I don't want to get down there and start bawling my eyes out and make it all about me. And I don't know, I just felt really, it's the first funeral I've been to since my dad died, and I was just worried that I would just not let you down, that's not the right word. I was worried that I would worry you. That's what I was worried about. I was worried that you'd think, oh my God, is she okay?
Yeah.
That was it, really.
Yeah.
But I thought, no, I want to be with you. I want to pay my respects. I want to see the family, and I want to come to the funeral. So we went down there to the funeral, and it was absolutely lovely. It was such a beautiful service.
Yeah.
She was you can say about your auntie in Liverpool.
Yeah, she was just I just knew her from the 1960s, and I always just remember my auntie. She always was just the perfect 60s person, like the mini skirts, the short hair, that sort of thing. Loved her music and everything else in the 60s in Liverpool at the time. It was the prime time. She would have been in her late 20s, sort of thing. And
she had a short pixie bob, didn't
yeah,
she? And she
yeah.
always like you say, always had. She's just like so wild looking and.
Yeah, and just a larger than life character, and loved Liverpool right through her life, and Liverpool Football Club and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just always, you always go around here, aunties, and she would make you a cup of tea, and you get a piece of chocolate or something. She always had something good, a little treat in the cupboard, and we had many parties there with all my family and cousins and things. I had a huge family when I grew up in Newquay and Cornwall. There was lots of cousins there.
Yeah, you've got a big family, haven't you?
Yeah, it was, because you came from a family of 6.
Yeah.
And each family almost probably had at least 3 kids, or 2 kids, or 3 kids. Yeah. So it was great growing up.
And we were sitting there at the service, and towards the end of the service, they started playing "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah.
And even just saying that now, it just makes me want to cry. It was just one of those. It's so poignant, and just makes me think of you and your family. Because you're all Liverpool fans. So they played it, and everyone was like, and I just, that was it. It was just like, oh my God, it's just like a burst of emotion, and
it is. Yeah.
Crying. I can't believe that you didn't cry. I thought you were going to cry at that, but
no, it was that time to be strong, because my her sister, my mum's sister, my auntie as well, who's still alive. They walked up to where the coffin was at the end, and I just thought, no, you're not going to walk alone.
Oh, bye.
And you need to be held.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what that was about.
Yeah. So it was really emotional, and the other thing as well is they played Frank Sinatra, and that was my mum's favourite singer, and that's who she wanted played at her wake, and it just brought a lot of emotion up.
It did.
And the room that we were in, having the wake afterwards, was quite small. It wasn't like you couldn't.
It was all done in a hotel. The celebrant was there. My cousin, my auntie's daughter, she didn't want to go to the crematorium or a church, or it just because she'd had enough, because she lost her dad a few years ago, and my uncle, and it was just to be done at a private little service.
Yeah.
And it was very, very nice.
It was
and then we just
beautiful.
move into the bar afterwards, and
Yeah.
you don't have to then see the curtains close or anything.
No.
It just gets left with a nice memory.
And she had, the way she'd done it, she put a table in the corner with all the photographs of your auntie and your family, all throughout the years, black and white photographs, colour photographs, ranging right from all through the years.
Yeah, from even I could see my grandma Doreen, who passed away when I was only like 18 months old. So, and just to see her face riding a motorbike or on a motorbike, in black and white from, would have been the 1930s or something like that. You just think, wow.
I just thought it was a gorgeous
even.
way of saying goodbye, and just paying respects and coming together. But and it was beautifully done.
It was very well done.
If these things can be beautifully well done,
but
you feel a little bit like.
Some people think it should be done traditional ways and things like that, but hey,
it's each to their own.
She was the one who thought out the box and was just that, that carefree young person.
Anyway, we're in the room in the funeral, in the wake, and it was a small hotel, like room in a hotel, and there was some friends there and people I knew. Obviously, I've been with Brian a long time, and I've known these people for a long time, and they were friends, and I haven't seen these people since for donkey's years, absolutely donkey's years.
Well, you went to school with some of them, didn't you?
I did, and but I haven't seen them since my mum and dad died, and so we haven't had a chance to talk,
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm standing there, and some people came over and said, "Hi, Liz, how are you?" And I said, "Yeah, good. And how are you? How have you been since your mum died?" And I looked at them, and what I wanted to say was, do you want the truth? Or do you want me to say do you want me to say, fine, yeah, oh, it's been all right, it's been hard, but what can you do, And for a flicker of a moment, I decided with this one person to tell the truth. And they said, how has it been since your mum died? And I said, to be honest, it's been fucking hard. It's been shit, actually. It's been awful. And this person had lost her dad a couple of years ago, and I said, you've lost your own dad. And there was a moment of, we're not going to go there. We're not going to have this conversation here. And I can understand that.
Yep.
I can understand that. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, about being on the other side of that conversation. But I thought, how sad that you can't, I just felt so embarrassed. I just felt so needy, that
Yeah.
I'd said the words, it's been shit and it's been horrible and haven't been doing so great. I just felt like, I felt a bit ashamed that I was like, almost like, let's make it about me, even though it wasn't, because they'd asked and I was telling the truth.
Well, it's the first time they've seen you. They've known your mum had passed away.
Yeah.
And it's the first time they actually get to see you face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I came away, I just buttoned it. I was like, it's I just avoided people and buttoned and just like smiled and just talked about your auntie, which is quite rightly so. You're at someone's funeral, you want to talk about that person. But when we came back, we had this conversation about how I don't feel like we can talk about how we really feel. And that's why I'm so grateful that I've got you and I've got this podcast and we can talk. And when I hear you say back to me, thank you for talking about that, Liz, it really made me feel seen, because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
But not everyone's got that. Not everyone's got this. And I just wanted to talk about why we don't say how we feel about these things. There's millions of things. It's like when you have a baby and you're really, really struggling and you're fucking depressed, or, you're not sleeping, but you see other mums and they go, oh, it's lovely, isn't it? It's great being a mum. And you just think, no, it's not. It's so hard, but you just don't feel like you can tell the truth, or people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want to admit that they're struggling, or that that's uncomfortable. Or anyway, that was what I was saying. It was a moment of, if you can't talk about it at a funeral,
Yep.
about how you feel about losing someone, a parent or anyone, when can you talk about it? When can people talk about these things?
We touched on, me and you have talked about discussing about this podcast, and I'll just remind you back to what we said about the start about being your authentic self. I think there's a time and a place to be able to tell people how it is you're feeling. And I think in front of family, because at the end of the day, they're family. As such, they're my family. And so you feel that you could talk to them because, you knew their dads. You knew their, my uncles and things, because we've known each other for a long, long time. And I think what I'm trying to say is, who it is you're talking to. Colleagues at work, if you've worked for them for a long time, then being your authentic self at work can sometimes be a little bit hard, because, hey, we're a team, we've got to get through today and get the job done that we're here for. There's a time afterwards to be your authentic self. But being in front of family, you think you can be your authentic self. And I think that's what I saw from the outside, is you wanting to say, do you know what, it's been shit. But their walls went up as if
Why though?
Exactly.
Why? Why do you think that was?
Because that's what we're told we should be, the stiff upper lip, and get on with it and move. Just get on. I've put it in a compartment that
I know, and
the walls are falling down on, but hey, I'll just keep building them.
Do you know, Brian, one guy said to me, I was talking to him a relative of yours, and he said, I've said about him losing a member of his family, and he said, I have put that in a box and I don't think about that. He said, I want to move on and I want to put it in a box and I don't want to talk about it. Not like I don't want to talk to you about it. I just don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
That's in the past and I want to move on. And part of me gets that because you think, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But that's not a good way to be, Bri. For me, that's not a good way to be, because all it will do is just bubble up and then just come out at the wrong times, and it will just come and bite you in the bum kind of thing, you know.
But with the other pressures of life, sometimes that's the only way people can cope, I suppose, isn't it? Like, you know, that to be able to keep moving forward. Whether it's the right thing, like you're saying, I don't know.
What would you have done if you were at the funeral and someone had come up to you, like me, like one of your cousins or your nieces or your sister, anyone that had come up to you and said, "I'm really struggling. I've lost."
Do you know what? If they'd done that, I would have talked to them. I would have given them a hug. Would have talked to them.
Yeah.
I would have. I would have given them time.
Good.
Yeah. Well, you can see some of the pictures that we'd taken. I was hugging lots of my cousins and things, like, you know, because it was just like, you know, I've really missed you. Even though they've all got their own lives and kids and families and things like that, you know, it's...
But why don't we tell the truth? What's wrong with saying, I'm having a tough time? I think it's because, okay, here's the thing. Here's flipping it.
Right.
And this is what we talked about last week, wasn't it, when we came back? I've been on the other side of that conversation. Before I lost mum and dad, I hadn't lost anyone. I'd lost my grandma and granddad, but I don't know. It was hard, but it wasn't. We were close, but we weren't that close, and it didn't hit me like it does when you lose a parent.
Yeah.
And when you talk to people, I'm just trying to think of someone who would have talked to me, and I can't remember one now, but I get it. You know, you're at an occasion, and someone says, "Oh, I'm struggling," and you think, oh no, please don't, I don't want to go down that route, because I feel horrible for saying this, but just like, oh, don't be a down, you know, don't put a downer on everything, like, you know, let's just be happy, eh? We're here to celebrate, aren't we? So let's keep going. And I'm guilty of that. I've done it. But when you're on the other side and you want to talk, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
Because you just want to tell the truth, and you want someone to go, oh God, yeah, I know, isn't it? It's crap, isn't it? But it's, you know, it gets better, or you'll get stronger, or give me a hug, or, you know, you've got Brian, anything. It was, but just to say, oh well, that's life, isn't it? You know, we all die sometimes, you know, and that's life. And I just felt like a complete and utter needy, bloody idiot. I just felt embarrassed, you know. I just felt, why didn't I just say nothing?
But that goes to falling on deaf ears, as in, don't want to go there. I don't want to approach that. I don't need to approach that, because maybe some people just cope differently. But I think it comes down to how close you are sometimes to that person.
To the person who's talking to you, or the person who's passed away?
The person who's passed away. A family member, they're kind of close, but they're not. There's a disconnection there somewhere along the line, isn't there? Like, you know, because, you know, you didn't spend every waking hour with them. Like, you know, they're not like your sister or your brother, like, you know, that you can just talk to. But I think you'll find even your brother doesn't want to talk about it, like, you know, or your sister. It's just like, no, I'm talking about something else in my life, because, but you can see them struggling.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they need to be able to just let it out all of a sudden and be able to talk about it, and then hopefully you can move on a little bit more. You know, I look about moving on because I was standing close to you when you were asked, did that particular service, did the funeral trigger you and stuff like that? And you looked at them and it's like, well, what do you think? But, you know, you didn't start crying. You actually put a brave face on and just thought, and that's a testament to where you have moved on in your grief journey, that you could actually talk about it. You didn't just break down and say, don't mention that, or no one can say anything to you around this because you're just going to keel over. And you didn't. And you were strong, and you stood up, and you were just like, yes, it did trigger me, but, you know, I'm here. and I'm talking about it right now.
And I think that's a sign of strength to be able to talk about something, isn't
Yeah, but
it?
it's where you've got to
Because like you say,
going through this journey.
when we first came back, we went round to Brian's flat, Dad's flat. We went round to see Brian's dad, and he very innocently said something about my mum, like, oh, you know, what was it she died of, or something like that. He said something, and he was very innocent and very. He would be mortified if he thought for 1 minute it would have upset me.
Yeah.
And it was like someone just opening the floodgates, and
You don't expect it from that person.
No.
That's why. But it was the way it was said. We were talking about my auntie, who wasn't very well at the time because she had a few things wrong with her, and that's when he just said, "Oh, what did your mum die of again?" As if like, it's in the same category that we're talking about. It wasn't said in like, "Oh, hang on a minute, what was it?" And that's how quick it was said. But it was just so hard hitting, wasn't it? Because you weren't expecting it.
It was.
Yeah.
But like you say, when you think that was 2 months ago.
Yes.
And now, and I honestly, it's two things that have given me strength. One, writing my book that I'm about to publish, which is 101 short reflections about grief and how it feels, and loss, and the things that hit you and how you cope and all things like that. That has been like so therapeutic, so helpful to me. I read somewhere that a book heals the hands that write it. I think that's the quote. And
yeah.
My God, that is so true. That's helping, and talking. Is helping.
This talking, I think, with the podcast like this to help other people, because there's not a lot, you've looked into it, there's not a lot out there about grief. And I know you can guess, oh, you're talking about that again. It's like, yes, because this is how it's impacted you. And it impacts a lot of people, but they don't talk about it because it's like, no, I'm not strong. I want to appear to be strong. Not I'm not strong. I want to appear to be strong. And I'm coping with this, and look at me. I can carry on,
And do you think that's what it is? Do you think that's why when people, like when I said the other day at their funeral, I'm having it's been crap, it's been hard, it's been shit, it's just been awful. Is that why people don't want to go there? Because
I don't want to feel like that again.
Do you think that's the reason?
I would 100% say I don't need to open those floodgates up right now, because it's been a tough time it's a tough time for anyone to go to a funeral.
Yes, it is.
And then to go, this is why I didn't want to come, because I don't want to feel sad. And that's the idea of a wake. It's the celebration of the life, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not the loss, it's the celebration of the life that was.
So when can you talk about things like this? When can you actually say to someone, hello, I know you're my cousin and I don't know you, but I feel like this.
But that comes round to, it has to be done in private by yourself.
Private where?
Well, with either your partner, or again,
what if you haven't got a partner?
Then you pick a book up, or you can tune into a podcast.
But it's not right, is it right?
It's not right.
It's not right.
No.
People should be talking about how they feel when they feel it, because otherwise it's just going to get bogged down and just like packed away, and we're never going to move forward we're never going to learn from this. It's like, if you don't be honest about how you feel, then what is that saying to other people that are coming behind you? Like, don't talk about it. We don't talk about this now, move on. It's been a couple of years now. No. Well, and I just don't think it's right. It's annoying.
But the older way is where you had a period of mourning. And you did have a period of mourning. It could be a year for the widow, the year of mourning, or it could be a week or two of mourning, where people then can talk about it, because that's you're in mourning. Even what you're wearing is telling you that you are, So you're in that time of grief, which was a hard time, And that's what religion and faith was, hopefully. They're alive up there, or wherever it is, you can see what those religions were trying to do, to give you hope, which goes back to that song again, doesn't it? Hope in your heart to move forward, and you won't walk alone, So that's what that all is about. It's not about playing football.
So what do you think is the best? Do you think I was in the wrong?
No, you weren't in the wrong.
So what do you
because
think
you were
is-
asked an honest question. Don't ask it otherwise. If you don't want an honest reply.
Maybe that's what you should say to
Yeah,
people.
you can say, "Oh, I'm awfully sorry about your loss of your mum." But then when they say, "How was it?" You know, and I know sorry is not the right thing to say to someone who is in mourning or has just lost someone, because what you're sorry about, but it's not about that. You're sorry for the way they're feeling. That's what the
Yeah,
sorriness is,
yeah.
because I feel sorry for you. You know, for want of a better word, there is probably a better word than sorry. Because sorry is normally something when you've done something wrong, not they've done something wrong, but you feel sad for them, or my heart's with you, or whatever it is. You don't know the right word to say because you don't know what that person's feeling. But when they tell you how they're feeling, at least listen to it. But you feel like, oh no, it's fine. No. Anyway, how are you doing?
I know.
That's it, isn't it? You throw it back to them.
Do you know? Again, this doesn't just apply to people who are grieving or hurting or have had a big loss. It applies to.
It applies to
It
life.
applies to life.
Yes, it does. It's part of
applies
it.
to having teenagers, babies, toddlers, kids at school, and flipping young adults that we've got now. It applies to everything. If we go through life going, oh, it's fine, yeah, oh, we're having a perfect time. Our family is so perfect. Everything is brilliant. You know, it's like, for one, you're a liar, and two, how does that make the other person feel? Because it just makes the other person feel inadequate, like they're not doing a good enough job. Like, really, am I the only one that thinks this? The amount of times I used to think as a young mum, am I the only one that wants to flipping shut their kids up in a bedroom and just go downstairs?
Go back to some normality, what you
and
used to
just
be
have a
before you
glass
had
of
them.
wine and think, just shut up,
Yeah.
stop crying. You know, am I the only one? Because it would just be, oh no, and you know, we do this and we do that, and they're so good, and we've got all these games, and we've got this routine, and it's just like, oh, it's flipping hard. It's life is tough, but it's even tougher when people don't tell the truth about what they're feeling.
Yeah, but that's because, you know, there's that side of it. You don't want to burden other people. You know, there's a time and place to, you know, if you're going, like I say, back to that work type thing or read the room, it's like, I'll leave my problems at the door. And I'll come in and I'll be that person you want to think I am.
I get
and I'll
that
be
if
that.
you're at
But-
work. I get it. But this
Yeah,
was
but
a
even-
funeral, Brian.
I know, exactly.
It was a funeral.
It's a time when we all go, fuck, yeah,
I
shit.
know.
Feeling that, yeah, it's a hard one, isn't
It's a room of loss. It's a
Yeah.
room of a place of
it?
remembrance, of feeling in your heart, you
Yeah.
know? Exactly like that song says, you'll never walk alone. It's about being together, and yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I haven't got the answer, and this isn't a podcast to give you any answers. It's just to give you the truth.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth of what it was like.
Exactly.
So,
And it's not easy as well. You know, you have to choose the person you are going to tell how you feel.
told about 10 people.
I know.
Just went along the line.
Yeah. Next.
I feel like crap, don't care. I feel like crap, don't care. I feel like crap. Someone's going to say something
Just put it on your
nice.
phone. I feel like crap and just play it. Talk to the
It
phone.
wasn't even I feel like crap.
No,
I didn't
know.
say
You
that.
didn't say that at all.
It was
Every-
like, what's it been like
I
since you
think
lost your
as-
mum? That was what it
listen
was.
to what you said afterwards. Each person, you said a slightly different story
Just
to.
got weaker and weaker,
Yeah, but
Brian.
it's yeah. But then isn't that a good thing in a way, maybe? And then just like
It's not, because
yeah.
it's not the truth.
Yeah.
It's not the truth.
Yeah.
But yes, if that's what people want to hear, if you just want to hear, well, you know what? At least I've still got Brian and the kids, and if that's the answer you want,
Yeah.
then I'll say that. You know, it's fine. But when it comes, that isn't what I want to do, because when it comes to that person needing an ear, I don't want them to think, oh, shouldn't really be talking about this. You know,
Yeah.
I know we're going around in circles with this, and
But
I
the-
just wanted to go on.
You are going to go around in circles because there's no right thing. And it's like you say, you talk to them, they don't want to then go, oh, it's like me when I lost. It's you kind of what they do, but then they're thinking, she just says she's having a tough time. I don't want to load more on her. So there is a reason sometimes that
Yeah,
people do
true.
say, no, I'm not going to share that with you because I don't think you're ready for that right now.
What do you want to hear? What do you want to hear when you say to someone, it's been really tough, it's been
Do you know what?
really
You
hard.
just want that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
You do.
It's not great,
Yes.
is it?
Yeah.
That's it.
There we
you
go.
know?
Look and learn, people.
That's all you
This
need to
is all
do.
you want.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's
because
true.
it is. It's a hug. It's a touch. It's a whatever it is. You know, we've gone away in this world from not allowed to touch you, not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that, and it's just like,
Not allowed to be real. Not allowed to
No.
say how you really feel. Not allowed
we're
to.
humans.
I know.
You know, so many songs have been written about the human touch. It's just the touch. It's just, you know, it really is.
I think you're so strong
Why?
because you are. Because you're able to be strong for other people, but you're able to also talk when you're struggling.
Yeah.
You just say the right things.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is, you know, you go back to the You Never Walk Alone. You said to me, why, you know, I can't believe you didn't cry. You know, we played that same song at my mum's funeral, and that's what was like, oh no,
Did you really?
I don't believe this is coming out.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
actually, and that's why you could see my dad.
Oh.
That's why he turned and talked to his sister.
Oh.
You know, he's 90 and he's 91 and she's 93, and he was actually saying, played this at Syl's
Did he?
funeral. That's what he was actually saying, and it was just like he probably couldn't believe it, you know, and that song was chosen by me, my sister, my brother, and my dad, who were all sitting in his flat, saying, what song do we play out? You know, and I just said, do you know what, that song, it's not about the football. It's not about that. It's about Jerry Marsden, who was from Liverpool. When I was a kid, growing up with a Decca record player, it was all red inside. I can still remember the smell of it. And playing it. And my mum just loving that song. You know, way before it was even taken as the song at Anfield. And that's what it reminded me of. And when I said that to them, and we played it just off the phone and listened to it, we said, no, that's the song that she'll walk out, we'll take her out of the church in. And that's, to see that again happen now with her sister, it was so sad to see that, like, you know. But
also,
the memory,
yeah,
it's just wonderful, like, you know.
Aww.
Yeah.
Aww.
And that's it, isn't it, like, you know. But it's not a bad memory.
No.
You know?
No.
And that's what you've got to look at it, is like, I'm not there now. It's not. And, you know, so look at it in a different light.
Yeah.
And just go, how wonderful that she's using this song.
Yeah.
And that's when I stood up. And just think, yeah. So, anyway.
You're a tower. And remember, you're not allowed to say that.
No, you know, yeah, we did say, can't go anyway, because it just cancels out what you just said.
It does.
Yep.
It just, you don't need to
we
say
do that
it.
because it's
Anyway.
like, okay, time to move on.
I know, we do that because
Yeah.
we don't want to burden people and we
Yeah.
think we've been talking too long, and of course you don't want to hear about this, so anyway, let's move on. And it's one of those words that I just really want to stop using,
Yeah, no.
along with so many others.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, you do.
Mm.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Thank you for being the person on the other side of this microphone, this camera, this computer, those headphones,
The device
that
whatever
you're
it is.
listening on. Thank you for being there and for being the person that listens to the words, I'm struggling. You know, it's a gift. It's a real gift.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my chapters in the book says, in fact, after we've done this podcast, I'm going to read you a short, one of the chapters that relates to this that we've been talking about. I'm not going to read it in front of the camera. I'm just going to read it and put some footage over it or something. I don't know. I'm going to just do that because I haven't got it here with me, so I can't remember. But one of the chapters that I did write says about one of the ways to help when you are feeling such loss and grief is to get it out of here and get it down on paper, on a microphone, in your phone, to a friend, to a counsellor, to a therapist, to anyone who will listen to you. And if you haven't got anyone to listen, then, like I say, write it. Just write it down and throw the piece of paper away and just say it. Say the words, bring it out, and It helps. It helps so, so much. It really does. I don't think we're made on this earth to keep everything inside us. I don't think it's natural. And this is why whoever invented podcasting wants a flipping medal, because...
Yeah. But it's true. That side of it, we've said it umpteen times. I'm not a writer. I don't particularly like to write. And I'm sure there's a whole load of people out there that don't want to write. But then just get the voice recorder on any phone. There'll always be one in Google Play or the App Store or somewhere. And just talk into it.
Yeah.
And then put it in a room, press play and walk out. Something's listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, just put it, I'm not saying a room full of people, but just put it in a room and press play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been heard twice. Once when you talk about it and once again. And then it's great to document, to go back and listen to where you were back then and see if you have moved forward.
Is there anything
or get
else?
Help.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah. Start with your doctor and then move on from there. And just,
find some ears to listen to you.
It's important. It really is.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think it's time to listen to a chapter of your book with you reading it, and we'll get some English countryside footage and put it over it or something,
Yes.
Yeah.
Until next time, thank you so much for being the person that has been there for me and Brian. My heart beats with yours, and I will speak to you soon.
Yep, so kia kaha, stay strong. Kia stay true to yourself, and a little bit of hope in the heart. That's all you need sometimes. Hope. See you next.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Words, words, words. Your heart is bursting with words. A stream of words that describe exactly how you feel. Words dripping with vowels and clinging to consonants. Verby words, big words, swear words, words that are desperate to fall from your mouth to tell the world how much you are hurting, how much you miss them, how you wish it had never happened, how you thought your life would be, how you thought you would feel, how you really feel. Words queued up in your brain, inside your head, behind your lips and in your eyes, words on the tip of your tongue, and then, when someone finally asks, you say, I'm fine.
To that point.
Brian, look, sorry, hang on. We thought we were being disrespectful. Look, they're all sitting on her wall.
Yeah, taking
having
pictures
their
on the
pictures
wall.
taken.
Told you. They're actually just leaning on that one.
No, they're not. They're all piled
they're
up on the
sat
wall,
on it,
taking their
aren't they?
pictures, doing selfies.
Well,
I know. Well, when we got here, I said to Brian, "Don't take pictures of that's someone's home. You don't want to start doing that." And Brian's like, "Oh no, it's a tourist attraction." I said,
Well,
"No,
it
it's not. Well, it's not because no, it's not.
It is. You've just seen them all come round, look.
I know, but and now all those people are over
It's just
there,
someone's house, yeah, but it's a tourist attraction.
standing on a garden wall.
They got
having their
paid a lot of
pictures
money to
taken.
film there. It's had some renovations, that place at the side.
Do you reckon they got it cheap because it was like